I now call the East Lyme Zoning Commission regular meeting of May 5th, 2022 to order. It is 7:33. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I take attendance myself. I'm here. Mr. Dwyer is not here. Mr. Granitek, absent. Debbie Jett, Harris.
Present.
Mr. Peck. Yep. Ann Thurlow.
Here.
Mr. Ginsburg, not here. Denise Markovitz.
I'm here.
Mr. Mulholland is not with us. Sue Spang is with us. And Roseanne Hardy is with us. I took the liberty of seating Ms. Markovitz ahead of time because I knew somebody was going to be here. Public delegations. Public delegations is the time when members of the public are invited to speak to the commission on a subject matters that are not on the agenda. Does anybody from the public have anything to say? Seeing none, we'll move on to public hearing. Public hearing number 1, application of Martin Zavala for Zavala Mexican Bistro for a special permit for outdoor dining at property located as 135 Boston Post Road, East Lyme, Assessor's Map 31.1, Lot 35. The owner could not be with us tonight, and Mr. Mulholland was going to give the presentation, but he is not here. So I will do that after a memo from our CEO. Ms. Thurlow, please.
May 5th, 2022, to East Lyme Zoning Commission from William Mulholland regarding special permit application outdoor dining, 135 Boston Post Road, Zavala Mexican Bistro. As many of you are aware, the previous occupant of this property operated a restaurant called Rebecca Fresh Pasta Restaurant. Apparently, the restaurant closed and the space has been vacant for several months. Mr. Martin Zavala has reopened the space and has converted the restaurant to Zavala's Mexican Bistro. This is essentially viewed by zoning as the continuation of the operation of a restaurant in this location and does not require any additional zoning approvals other than signage and outdoor dining. Mr. Zavala would like to serve alcohol on his proposed patio. Therefore, a special permit is required under Section 20.25 of the East Lyme zoning regulations. The patio area is an existing area in front of the building under a roof sidewalk immediately adjacent to the restaurant. This area will be approximately 6 feet by 49 feet and will have 8 tables of 2. The area will be enclosed by a fence which is existing. Entry to the patio will be controlled by a gate which provides security for alcohol service. I note that a plan is in your packet. Operating hours will be those of the restaurant, which will essentially be lunch and dinner. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Thurlow. I apologize for everyone not having this in their packet, but it's been a little crazy down there this week. I will note for the record that the legal ad has been run. So basically what this is, as you heard in the memo, is basically just like a transfer of restaurants, more or less. They want to renew their outdoor dining, you know. So the patio during the week will close at 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. on the weekends. More or less, if you want to look at that there. Just seating on the outside like it has been before. Pass that down to Mr. Debbie Jett there. Other than that, basically it's really just housekeeping, in all honesty. It's just another transfer of a restaurant permit, more or less.
Did they have an outdoor dining permit before?
For Rebecca's?
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe they did.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they've had one going on and on for
Well, since the
as many.
special
Yeah.
approval for outdoor patios.
Right. So I mean, it's basically just a simple application, really. Any other questions, Ms. Jen?
Nope.
And you're good?
Yep.
Any questions from the public? Moving on, I will take a motion to close the public hearing, please.
I move that we close the public hearing.
Second?
Motion moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Abstain. No, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to the regular meeting. Application of Martin Zavala for Zavala Mexican Bistro for a special permit for outdoor dining at property located at 135 Boston Post Road, East Lyme, Assessor's Map 31.1, Lot 35. Do I have a motion to approve or deny said application?
I move to approve the application of Martin Zavala for Zavala Mexican Bistro for a special permit for outdoor dining at property located at 135 Boston Post Road, East Lyme, Assessor's Map 31.1, Lot 35.
I second.
Thank you, ladies. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Against? Abstain? Motion carries 500. Thank you, everybody. Moving on. Application of Keith Nielsen. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. Approval of minutes. Thank you, Miss Denise.
You're welcome.
That's not on my cheat list. Where'd you read that?
Right,
It's a
on the
mess.
agenda.
Approval of last meeting's minutes of April 21st, 2022.
I did not have a copy of those minutes. Can we put it off? Can we
They
hold
were
that?
online.
I couldn't find them online either.
I think Jen sent them with the email.
Apparently what happened is, from what I understand, is Jen sent out an email, and some got it and some did
I
not.
did not.
So therefore, I mean, the minutes basically are,
Here they are.
yeah, we have them.
Oh,
They don't have packets. Again, I apologize for not having the packets.
Can
So
we just approve those next month? We've done that before.
we can move to next month, next meeting, if we're all in favor of that. Debbie, you good with that?
I'm good with that.
All right, so then why don't we move that approval of the minutes to April 21st until our next
I make a motion
scheduled
that
meeting?
we hold the approval of April's minutes until the June meeting,
April 21st.
April 21st.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Abstain? Motion carries 500. We will move the minutes. Thank you. I apologize for the mishap there. Okay. Now moving on to application of Keith Nielsen, PE of Daco Incorporated for Cardamus Construction, LLC, for a coastal area management review at 61 Old Black Point Road, East Lyme, to relocate crushed stone confined with wood timbers and place blue stone to form a walkway and patio. I would like to have a memo from Mr. Mulholland put into record. Ms. Thurlow, please.
May 5th, 2022, to East Lyme Zoning Commission from William Mulholland regarding CAM application 61 Old Black Point Road, Niantic, Connecticut. This application is a coastal area management CAM site plan proposal for lawn restoration and landscaping improvements at the property referenced above. The purpose of the application is to rectify certain activities performed within the town's coastal jurisdiction without permits. Work also occurred below the coastal jurisdiction line, CIL, which is the purview of the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, DEEP. DEEP issued a notice of noncompliance on September 28, 2021. Upon review, DEEP subsequently issues a certificate of permission authorizing corrective work to bring the property into compliance with the regulations. Because the town has CAM authority for activities above, the
CJL.
CJL, a permit is required from the Zoning Commission to complete the work. The scope of the proposed work is outlined on page 3 of the CAM application found in your packets. Keith Nielsen from Daco Incorporated, the product engineer, is here and will give a presentation. This application is for the purpose of correcting a violation and bringing the property into compliance with the Commission's coastal area management responsibilities.
Thank you, Ms. Thurlow. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Keith.
Thank you.
Here you go. There is an easel there, my friend, if you'd like to use that.
Okay, is this on?
It should be.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll be okay here with my board. Thank you very much for this opportunity tonight. I'm Keith Nielsen with DACO Incorporated, and I prepared the application documents you have before you tonight, and met with Mr. Mulholland on a couple of occasions to make sure that the remedial action that we were taking to satisfy the DEP would also be acceptable to the Commission and consistent with the zoning regulations. The property is a fairly small piece of property. The curve in Black Point Road from going east-west up here to north-south down here, this is right in the curve. One of the properties that is easily overlooked because you're focusing on the road. There's a tiny little house on it that's been there since 1909, and there's a boathouse that was built sometime shortly thereafter, but both appear in the 1934 aerial photographs, the record from the DEP. There's also shoreline stone that helped to stabilize the property because of its exposure to the Patagonia River. It's right in the mouth of the river, just south of the railroad bridge. I've prepared a coastal site plan application and narrative that go into a fair amount of detail as to what happened and what is being proposed. Basically, Mr. Kadamas mistakenly put some stone down in his backyard between the house and the river, and the DEP found out about it and wanted him to take it out. We went through a rather extensive survey and resource evaluation of the site and came up with a plan that would, one, restore the tidal wetlands area, the area straight south of the boathouse and west of the house. But there's about a 10-foot border between the house and the wetlands that it can be developed. And in accordance with the zoning regulations, we thought we would make some kind of a hardened surface there that could be walked on because the ground is a little bit on the spongy side. And Mr. Cardemus wanted to make sure that water, even on regular flood tides and everything, wouldn't get into his basement, or the crawl space, I should say. So what we've come up with is a set of timbers shown in the detail, mostly right in the middle of the drawing. They're landscaping timbers. They will be put into a triangular or pyramid type of structure, and behind the timbers, crushed stone, which is currently on the ground out here in the area waterward of the high tide line, will be placed back behind these timbers. Then a bluestone walkway slate system will be installed on top of that. So it makes the path around the house walkable and makes good use of the materials that were put there by mistake in DEP's jurisdiction. And in this area, to the side of the house, south of the south door, the entrance to one of the entrances to the house, and just to the west of the chimney, there will be a little deck in there. The reason for the odd shape is because we have to stay 25 feet away from the mean high water line in accordance with the zoning regs. And so that is the little wood deck. The rest of this is a bluestone patio and walkway. And this area of lawn restoration is going to be planted with black grass. Mr. Cardemus has ordered the black grass. It's ready to be planted in a couple of weeks. And so the timing is good on all of this to really finish up his project and make it neat and presentable in conformance with everybody's laws and regulations. I'd be happy to answer any question you might have.
I have a quick question. The deck is, it says here the length of it is 10 feet. What is the width of it?
Well, it's a variable width. Down at the south end, it's 6, and it's about 8 feet up adjacent to the house. It's an odd shape because we didn't want to go past the chimney. We also didn't want to make the deck above grade, and the grade is 6 right over here, and the house elevation is only 7.5. So we just put the deck in that small area.
I'm just curious, is it going to be attached to the house?
It is.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it won't be physically bolted to the house, but it's going to be butting up right to the house.
Okay.
There won't be any gap between them.
Any other questions? You good? I mean, Keith, we've been dealing with you for a long time, so I trust your knowledge and your experience.
Thank you.
On that. So basically, that deck is basically following a tidal line. That's why the shape of the deck there.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, I mean, I myself has been fine with that. Anyone else? Beck?
Okay.
Saying that, I will take a motion to approve or deny said application. There's no more discussion.
I make a motion to approve the application as submitted.
I second it.
Thank you, ladies. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You don't need to read the whole thing.
Actually, that's correct.
Wow.
Thank you. Read the whole thing, please.
Oh, okay. Motion to
Again, I apologize.
application of Keith Nielsen, P.E. of Daco Incorporated for the Cardamus Construction LLC for a coastal management review at 61 Old Black Point Road, East Lyme, to relocate crushed stone, confine with wood timbers, and place bluestone to form a patio and a walkway and a patio.
Reasons, please.
Reason for approval, number one, the application complies with all coastal use policies and standards. Number two, the project has taken all reasonable measures to mitigate any potential adverse impact on coastal resources.
Second.
Thank you for the clarification and thank you for the second. Sorry for the confusion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Abstain? Motion carries 5-0-0.
Thank you.
Keith. Sorry for the confusion.
Not a problem.
Okay. Any business on the floor, if any, by the majority of the commission? Good? Mr. Mulholland is not here. Mrs. Hardy? We're very...
I can give the extended version.
We're very early. Yeah. Sorry, Sue, for all the confusion myself.
That's okay, I just, you still, is there no Lighthouse boat there?
That's coming up under new business.
Okay,
Where is...
I have both of them on the new business, that's why I'm confused. As Nielsen second.
Yeah, I'm alive.
My goodness, I am seriously apologizing for this here.
I thought that,
I've got two different agendas, that is correct.
I thought that was on hold.
That's on, is it,
Again, for the reason, Sue, the main administrative is on vacation this week, so
yeah, that's under new business.
yes, let's move on. Thank you, Sue, for pointing that out.
Amended agenda has nothing on it.
Is that the regular version or the amended? No, that is the amended. Doesn't have it on it.
Yeah, mine does not have it on
I
there.
got them on your notes, and I got it on your agenda as well.
Yep. Again, how many times can I say I apologize? All right, new business. So new business is application of Jeremy Ostrat for the Lighthouse Voc Ed Center Incorporated for a special permit to allow a private nonprofit school under section 20.1.2 section D at property identified in the application as 15 Liberty Way, East Lyme Assessor's Map 09.4, Lot 8. I will ask Mr. Mulholland to schedule that. Also, application of Keith Nielsen, P.E. of Daco Incorporated for William Stone for Coastal Area Management Review at 297 Old Black Point Road, East Lyme, for a passive residential recreation on small deck. I will ask Mr. Mulholland to schedule that. Now moving on, Ms. Hardy.
Okay, I just crossed
Again,
two
I apologize.
I just crossed two things off.
Okay. Good evening. Board of Selectmen met last night, and there was a special public hearing scheduled regarding a new flood ordinance to meet FEMA standards, and there were some problems with the paperwork, so that is rescheduled until the next meeting. Most of the time was spent on special appropriations, mostly coming from the rescue funds, which is still taxpayer money, but it's still nice that it's not directly coming out of our pockets, only indirectly. The police were fortunate to get an additional grant for $25,000 for a special computer setup. They got that through a special grant. Same for a new senior center van. We have 3 vans. Most of the time 2 operate. The third one's kind of iffy. So they were able to get a grant as well, and I think they got a grant to cover $70,284, and we owe $32.
Wow.
Pretty neat. $15,000 for the affordable housing consultant contract was approved. And then we have 4 trash vehicles, and one of them is just completely gone. Probably we won't even be able to get much money for scrap metal. So this is just for the repair to the second worst truck, and that's $23,000 for engine repair for that truck. And fortunately, we were able to get a hold of that right away because, you know, there's backlogs on all kinds of parts, so we were lucky there. This I think you'll find interesting. Remember that tax they put on the little nip bottles, which we're seeing all along?
I believe we got like 12,000, right?
$12,410 for the first installment.
Wow.
That's just for our town.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So now, I don't want you to think that the Board of Selectmen's been out along the roadside collecting these. This is a division of what comes into the state coffers, and then it is divided. I don't know what the process is for dividing it, but it's divided among the towns. So this was our share, and that's just for the first year. So quite a nice surprise.
Could be a lot of sidewalks.
Says Mr. Sykes.
We also got money from damage that was done from Storm Isaias, and so we appropriated $30,000 for that. So that was a bit of good news. We still have more funds to actually, a request to actually act upon for funding for using the rescue funds. We also had a special appropriation for repairs to the new public safety building, to the masonry work that's there. Needs to be done. Apparently this was popular building material in the late 70s and early 80s, and it has since begun to deteriorate, not just here, but nationwide. And so it's a matter of filling in the cracks that have appeared, and we have someone that is capable of doing that. So that's it.
How much is that going to, just out of curiosity?
That is
Not a big deal.
15,000.
That's not bad. Cool beans.
And it's interesting that is not a problem that is unique to our buildings. Apparently it's a problem that within the last 3 or 4 years has been identified for buildings that were built during that time period using those decorative blocks.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha. The ridge.
Okay, questions? Done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on, comments from the zoning board liaison to planning, which I believe was Terry, and I don't believe they met anyway. Going on, comments from myself. Again, I apologize for all the confusion tonight. Moving on, it is Cinco de Mayo, so happy Cinco de Mayo. And to all our mothers on the commission and in the audience, happy Mother's Day this weekend. Other than that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Same. Thank you.
I'm not getting